All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's video. Have you tried out Hue Forge 3D printing yet? I hadn't up until this point, but I've seen some of my viewers sending in some really cool pictures of it and things that they've done from MakerWorld. So I thought today's video would be good follow-up to last week's video where we talked about the different places where you can get 3D prints. And I've really wanted to do more and more from MakerWorld, and I really like the Hue Forge prints. So this week I went ahead and dove in to see exactly what it takes to do those from MakerWorld, and it could not be easier. If you haven't done this up to this point, stop what you're doing and do one of these today. You can get some of them done in an hour, hour and a half. The one that I showed at the beginning of the video here took a little over 3 hours. And that one is a hybrid Hue Forge and 3D printed model, which is really cool. And I gotta tell you, there are so many cool models in there that you can print. So today I'm going to go over exactly what it takes to pull a model out of MakerWorld, how to find models that are easier to print from there, what you need to do with your AMS, what you need to do in the slicer, and then what those Hue Forge prints look like. So if all that sounds good, then sit back and relax and I'll get everything ready. All right, so here we are back at MakerWorld, and let me show you how to easily find some really cool Hue Forge prints. And the first step is obviously going to be, type in Hue Forge here. But what you'll notice is not all of these are set up to do the cool where you can just send it directly into the slicer. And how you filter this for that and make that easy is go over here to filters and go down to with print profile and select yes. The other thing is I'm using my 0.4 millimeter nozzle, so I can also search just by the 0.4 millimeter nozzle. So if you want to do that as well, once you hit confirm here, all of these models will have, right, if we go into Deadpool here, all of them will have this open in Bamboo Studio, which I think is really cool. And they'll all be set up for the 4 millimeter nozzle. So you can kind of go through here and pick the ones that you want. And same thing if you, do like Star Wars, Hue Forge or whatever, you can still go into that filter and filter it down by the ones that have the little profile, as well as has the nozzle that you want to use on there. So let's go into the first model that we're going to print today. All right. And if you haven't seen this one or printed this one yet, this is probably the coolest one that I found, and this is actually kind of a hybrid of 3D printing and the Hue Forge in the back, which is really, really cool. So make sure that you go and like this model and download it and print it out. It is a really, really cool one. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll hit open in Bamboo Studio, and that will open up this model in Bamboo Studio. So let's get that opened up and I will see you there. All right, so now you'll see that we have the model loaded in Bamboo Studio, and this is a place where I kind of got confused at first and didn't really know what to do here, because it's a multicolored 3D model, but everything is turning out white right here. And at first I didn't know exactly what to do here, but just move forward with it. Don't worry about that. The first thing that you're going to want to do is check to make sure that your correct printer is selected there, and hit transfer on that. And we're going to be using the textured PEI plate on this one. And then we'll notice that there's 4 colors of these filaments here that are already loaded in here, but this does not match what's in my AMS right now. And you don't have to worry about, unless you just want to make the exact same copy of the model, you don't really need to use the same brand and all of that. It's just, the colors. There's a black, there's a blue, there's a white, and there's a gray. And in this particular one, I set up my AMS with black blue, white, and gray, but it's not necessarily these specific ones. So let's go to the AMS and go ahead and get a black, blue, white, and gray filament loaded. All right, so let's get this set up for the Star Wars one. And in the first slot, we need the black filament. And when the light is solid again, you know that it's done doing its whole back and forth stuff. So the second color we need is the light blue. So we'll go ahead and get that one in there. All right, the next one is the white. All right, and last but not least is the gray. And for the gray on this one, I used the blue gray. All right, now that we've loaded all of the filament in the AMS and we put it in the right order there, now all we need to do is resync our AMS, and we'll see that the colors that I added in there are now back in there. And then my second AMS is visible again. But you'll still see that the model is white. And if I go over to objects to try to color it, you'll see all kinds of stuff in there. Don't mess with any of that. Don't worry about it. Just keep moving forward here. So we've got our right nozzle and printer selected, the right plate. We've updated our AMS with the colors that we want to use. The next step is to slice this model. So let's go ahead and get it sliced. All right, and you'll see that now that the model is sliced, we'll see all of those colors come through. So we'll see the blue gray here for the Millennial Falcon, and then we'll see our Hue Forge in the back. And this one does take almost 4 hours to print. So we'll go ahead and hit print on there. And since we're using the textured plate, we don't want to do the flow dynamics. We want to make sure that our colors are correct there. So we'll go ahead and send this to the printer, and I'll see you when it gets done. All right, so that was really cool. So let's try doing another one. And I found this really cool one of a Banksy, graffiti art or whatever. So I thought this one was really cool. So let's go ahead and download this one into Bamboo Studio and get everything set up to print it. All right, so here we are back in Bamboo Studio. And as you can see, it's all white again. And it's going to be the same thing as the other one until we get the AMS set up and hit slice, then we'll see the colors come through. So for this one, we need white, black, and red. So let's go ahead and get that set up in our AMS. All right, now that we have the AMS loaded correctly, we can go ahead and resync it. And again, always make sure that you have the right printer selected there. And everything else looks good. We're using the textured plate. This one we have white, black, red. So that's the correct color. So let's go ahead and get it sliced. All right, now that you see that it's sliced, the colors come back. And this one's not too bad. It's only a little over an hour to print. And a really, really cool one. So let's go ahead and hit print plate. And again, no flow dynamics calibration, white, black, red. So we're good to go with that. So we'll go ahead and send this to the printer, and I'll see you when it gets done. All right, wow, these are so cool to print. I just can't stop printing them. So let's do one more. And this one, I'm going to show you a pretty significant change in the color. Well, it'll be a light yellow versus like a kind of a bright yellow. And this is another cool one, another tropical sunset and everything like that. And I do try to hit this X1 carbon here and hit open in Studio, but it still puts it as the P1S and P1P on some of them. So I don't know what's going on with that, but let's go ahead and open this in Bamboo Studio. All right, so now we're in Bamboo Studio. We'll see that it did select the carbon this time. And we do have the textured PEI plate. And everything else is set up, and you'll see that it looks black at first, but we'll see that that changes later. And we'll see that we need a white, black, this is a really light yellow, and a red. And I'm going to just use a normal yellow here, and then bamboo red, bamboo black, bamboo white. So let's go ahead and get the AMS loaded up. All right, our AMS is loaded up, so let's go ahead and resync everything, and we'll see that we have a different color of yellow, different color of red, but everything will turn out just fine. We'll see the color slightly changed here, so let's go ahead and get it sliced, and you'll see it looks really, really cool. And again, this one only takes about an hour to print, so really fast multicolor print here, and it looks really, really cool. So let's go ahead and get it printed. Again, no flow dynamics calibration. Make sure our colors are in the correct order, and they are. And then we'll go ahead and send it to the printer, and I'll see you when it gets done. All right, I just can't get over how cool that one turned out in the hybrid 3D print with the Hue Forge. Great idea. Make sure that you go out and smash the like button on that model so we can get some more cool ones like that. The Banksy one also turned out really cool. That one's going on the wall for sure. That one looks really, really good. Turned out really cool. And then the sunset one, I probably should have printed it a little bit bigger. But you know, that one turned out pretty cool as well. So I gotta say, I was thoroughly impressed with the Hue Forge printing. I thought it was going to be a little bit of a chore and you're going to need to do something crazy in order to get it done, but you don't. All you need to do is set up your filament, do the little tricks for filtering out the models that are really easy for you there, and go out and print some of these Hue Forge prints. These things are really, really cool. And you can get some really nice things to hang on the wall and some really nice decorations for that. So I hope today's video was helpful. I hope that inspires you to get out there and get some of these prints done and burn up some of this filament that you have from your bamboo membership. So make sure that you get grays, because a lot of the really cool stuff is different colors of gray and the charcoal. So if you're ordering your filament, make sure to get some grays and some charcoals for some of these Hue Forge prints, especially the Yoda ones. So I hope you liked today's video. Be sure to smash that like button if you did. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss any more of my videos. And I hope everybody has a great rest of their weekend and has a great week. Thank you for watching. Bye.